to another one of my videos. It took a whole coronavirus for me to actually get my studio set up and running, my new lighting system up, my new table up, my backdrop up, and get everything exactly where I want it. I'm super excited about the lighting in this video. I'm super excited about how everything looks. Let me know in the comments down below if you think it looks better than some of my other videos. And I've worked really hard on this whole lighting setup, and if you like the outcome of it, please be sure to send me a DM on Instagram right now and tell me if you want a lighting setup video. This was pretty affordable. It was pretty cost effective. I did spend thousands, but I didn't spend that much. But it's an investment that I've really wanted to give my channel for a long time. Let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, I am wearing a top. Sorry to disappoint, but I am wearing a top while I film. The last video I did with like a boob tube on, somebody sent a really rude message on my Instagram. So to that hater, yes, I'm wearing a top. And let's actually get into this video. So by the title of this video, you will know that I am going to be doing a full face today, a full little face bead for you. Again, it's taken a whole coronavirus for me to actually film another makeup tutorial. I haven't filmed a tutorial in ages. I've kind of just been reviewing products on my Instagram, but also I really wanted to get this setup sorted before I spent a whole bunch of time filming videos and things like that, which I wasn't 100% happy with. So I'm going to be reviewing a whole lot of products from DUPE FACTORIE. DUPE FACTORIE have brought in a few other little brands. They've brought in a brand called Beauty Creations. They brought in another brand called Cat. There's a whole bunch of different brands that they have, and there's just a few things that I have had my eye on for a while, and I never really got the opportunity to buy stuff until I went to Beauty Revolution. So I thought that I'd do a little review for you guys. The first thing I'm going to go in with, I have already prepped my skin, by the way. I do have a video on my IGTV all about my skin prepping routine. So I've got a skincare routine, I've got a skin prepping routine, and that prepping routine is for when I'm going to apply makeup to my skin. So I've already done all of those steps. I already have that video on my YouTube channel. I mean, not my YouTube channel, my IGTV section. So go and have a look for that on my IGTV. So I've already done all of that jazz, and I'm going to be testing out my first product, which is the new foundation from Beauty Creations, which is the Flawless Stay Foundation that has a medium to full coverage. It's a really pretty looking foundation. The bottle is absolutely amazing. I don't know if I bought it for the product or the bottle. There are so many reviews about this online that I'm just absolutely loving reading and loving watching the reviews of this foundation. So many people love it, and it is an American brand. I got the shade FS 4.5, so I'm going to be testing that out and seeing if it is the right shade for me. I'm just going to pump a little bit out on the back of my hand. I'm just going to be using a flat top kabuki brush. I am using my Thunder Cosmetics brush. If you guys don't already know that is my brand, I feel like I say that in every video. So I'm just going to dab into the product and I'm going to go straight onto my skin with it. All the beauty influencers that I've watched and all the tutorials that I've already watched, they've been talking about like how full coverage this foundation is and how amazing it is. So I was super excited to try it out. And when I saw that they had the stand at Beauty Rev, I just like had to pick one up. So I'm literally just jotting this all over my face, and then I'm going to start buffing it into my skin. So right off the bat, I'm going to just say that this is definitely not the right shade for me. It's very yellow, like my face is very yellow compared to my chest. The coverage is really good. I want to say that it's definitely like medium to full coverage, but it's got like quite a nice glow to it. So I'm quite bummed that I got the wrong shade, because I think if it was the right shade, it would be a beautiful foundation. But yeah, I'm definitely going to go and try a lighter shade and see if that's maybe a little bit better. But just for the sake of today, I'm going to just apply a much lighter concealer. This is not from DUPE FACTORIE. I'm just going to apply my Essence Camouflage Concealer. I'm just going to apply it underneath my eye area, down the center of my face, and obviously like in all the hot spot areas. I'm going to use that same flat top kabuki foundation brush to just buff that out. And guys, when you do this, you want to make sure you are patting down your concealer and then you're just buffing it into the rest of the face. Is applied, I'm really liking the way that foundation's looking. It's looking really matte and flawless. Like, I'm looking in the viewfinder and it's really like pushing all my flaws back, and I think that the balance of the lighter concealer is working, so I definitely will keep this foundation and keep trying it out. For the next step, I'm just going to make sure I'm taking that same foundation brush and I'm just going over my eyelid area, and I'm going to be using the All About That base eyeshadow primer by J-Cat, which is also a brand that is exclusive to Dupe Factory. So I'm going to try this out. I'm just taking a little bit of that and applying it to the back of my hand. I'm just going to take a little flat brush and put that all over the eye area. Really quite nice. It's got like quite a bit of iridescence to it. I don't know if you can see that on my hand, which is nice because it like lightens up the area, brightens up the area underneath the eyeshadow, but I don't know how it's going to work out with the eyeshadow on top of it, so I'm keen to try that out. So I'm going to be using some of my absolute favorite brushes from Dupe Factory. Now, Dupe Factory, they really are that. Like, I find a lot of their products, they do have dupes for other makeup brushes that I love. So the first brush that I'm going to be using is a little black blending brush. I don't know the number of this brush, but it is from Dupe Factory. And then the eyeshadow that I'm going to be using is from J-Cat, which again is another one of their little brands, and it just looks like that. The eyeshadows look really, really gorgeous. I did swatch this at Pro Beauty, but I'm going to do a little swatchy for you guys so you can see how gorgeous those eyeshadows look. And I don't really know what look I'm going for today, but it's going to be fun to try these eyeshadows out. So I'm going to go into this lighter shade in the corner, and I'm just going to set my whole eyeshadow area, my whole eye area first. Then with that exact same brush, I'm going to go into the maroony shade over here at the top. It's such a beautiful shade, and I'm keen to see how that translates on the eye. So I'm going to be applying this to the crease, and then I'm going to be blending it out to the top part, like the upper part of the eye. I must say I am really, really, really loving this eyeshadow palette. The one thing I will say is there's a little bit of fallout that has happened from the eyeshadow application, but the pigment is really great, and the color payoff is really, really good, and the colors in this palette are actually so great. So I'm going to go in and do my other eye, and then I'm going to add my second tone in. I'm then going to go into this darker shade in the corner. It's slightly cooler than what the other shade is, and I'm literally just going to hit my inner crease with this color. I'm going to go straight in and just deepen up the crease area. Do a little bit of a lighter shade. So I want to bring in more of these like yellowy tones. So I'm going to go into this gold in the middle, and I'm going to go onto my, it's just a little MAC eyeshadow brush. I'm going to add a little bit of Fix Plus to the end of this brush so that the brush is wet, and then I'm going to go into that product and I'm going to pack that onto the lid. Hopefully it's super pigmented and I won't need to put an eyeshadow base underneath it. I'm hoping that that works out really well. The key here, guys, is to make sure that you are wetting your brush so that the pigmentation is a little bit more intense. I'm just going to take that product and I'm going to pack it onto the actual lid of the eye. I'm just going to keep going in and keep layering that pigment onto the eye. And then I'm going to take a clean blending brush that doesn't have any product on it. And then I'm going to just blend out that crease area so that there's no harsh line between the more maroony shade and the darker shade and the gold. So I'm just going to blend that out. I'm actually going to pick up a little bit of that darker shadow that I've been using on that blending brush, and I'm just going to buff out the line between the maroon shadow and the gold of the lid. A little tip, guys, if you want that glitter to really stick to the eye, you want to obviously be using your wet brush, but then you want to be just literally dabbing the product onto the area instead of blending the product on, because what tends to happen is you take that glitter and you end up blending it all over the eye area and it doesn't stick to the exact area that you want it. Okay, so now that the eyeshadow is done and it's all beautifully blended, you want to make sure that there's symmetry between your two sides. So I always like to hold my mirror quite high up and just make sure that there is balance in the two sides and that both of the eyeshadow heights are equal. So I always do that at this point. And then obviously, guys, there's quite a bit of fallout happening underneath the eye. So I'm just going to take a little makeup wipe and I'm going to clean up the whole under eye area. I like to really make sure that I am applying the wipe in a motion that is not going to droop my eye down. So I'm taking that wipe and I'm going upwards and I'm cleaning it in that way. And don't worry about removing foundation. I mean, that's something that always happens and it's something that we can fix. Generally, if I am doing quite a heavy eye look, I do my eyes first because of this whole problem. So especially if I'm working with black or dark colors and blues, I will always do my eyes first. But for the sake of this video, I'm obviously reviewing the foundation as well. So I wanted to see how it would last, and I also wanted to see what the fallout was like with these eyeshadows. Now that the concealer's done, it looks a whole lot better. So what I am also quickly going to do is I'm going to jump off camera and I'm quickly going to apply my brows. While I was busy with my brows, I thought of adding a little bit more dimension to my eye. So I'm going to smudge this mustard color underneath my eye and along that lower lash line. Oh, that's such a gorgeous shade. I'm going to also just pop on some little lashes. These are not from DUPE Factory, these are from another brand, but they are like very full mink lashes. They're obviously synthetic, but I'm just going to pop those on and I really think it's going to elevate this makeup look to the next level. Okay, now that my lashes are on, I'm going to do a little bit of contour with a contour stick. Again, this is not from DUPE Factory, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I'm just going to do some normal generic contouring. If you guys want to see a little contour video from me, please just comment in the comment section down below and I will do a contour video for you all. I don't think I've ever actually done like a contouring video before, but I'm going to add quite a lot of contour just because it is quite a heavy look. And I always love to buff in my contours with that same foundation brush. So guys, foundation brushes for me, like kabuki brushes, they are so multi-purposed. And I always find that, especially for contour, I get such a beautiful blend. I'm going to just go over that area with a bit of a powder bronzer. Again, it's not from DUPE Factory. but I'm just going to intensify my cheek contour slightly, and my forehead contour just a little bit, just to make sure that it's showing up properly. You guys want to make sure that whenever you're using a contour product, like a cream-based contour product, you are just brushing a little bit of your bronzer underneath your eye as well, because what can tend to happen sometimes is your under eye area then starts to look really like bright and stark, and you don't want that. You want it to look as natural as possible, especially if you've got a lot of fake tan on and you are somebody who wears fake tan. You want to make sure that you're just brushing your bronzer over the bridge of your nose. If you don't follow She Wolf on Instagram, you should. She's an amazing makeup artist, and I love all her videos, and she takes everything over the bridge of her nose. So I've been doing that quite a lot since I've been watching her, and I've seen such a big impact in the way that I do my makeup, and I'm really loving it. So next thing we are going to do is I am going to take this little eyeshadow, also from JCat from DUPE FACTORIE, and this is their Prismatallic Chrome Eye Mousse. So it is like a mousse texture, and I'm a little bit worried that it's going to be too silvery, but I'm actually going to try and apply this as a highlighter. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to use quite a dense eyeshadow brush for this, and I'm going into the product. It's quite a thick glitter product, so I don't know if it's going to work as a highlight, but I'm going to try and just apply a little bit with my finger. Okay, this product definitely needs to be warmed up quite a bit before using it. So I'm going to try with using my finger. I do think it's a little bit too thick to be a highlighter. Look really nice, but it is quite like patchy. It's definitely not a highlighting product. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply a little bit of it to like the main highlighting areas, and then I'm going to go over it with another highlighter. I'm actually going to try and use the lightest shade from this eyeshadow palette and see how that works as a highlighter. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's so nice. Quite a dense brush for this so that I'm getting a good like color concentration. I say all in all, this makeup look is really growing on me. All I've done is I added a little bit of mascara off camera. I'm just going to add a little bit more to my bottom lash line, just to create a little bit more balance underneath the eye. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply a bit of a lippy. So I'm going to be using just a nude liquid lipstick. It's not from DUPE FACTORIE, unfortunately. I've never purchased any of their kind of lip products. So I'm just going to apply this, and we are going to be done with this makeup look. And that is pretty much it for this makeup look and for my review. I must say I do really like the finish of the foundation, but I absolutely hate the color. I think that the color is so wrong. The more that it's oxidizing, the more that it's not right for me. So I'm really bummed about that color, but I am going to pick up another one which is a little bit less yellow, and I must say I'm super shook about this eyeshadow palette. I think it's absolutely phenomenal, super pigmented, the shimmers are just staying, my eyeshadow looks insane, it's lasted really well, and I actually really like this guy, so I definitely think I need to try this out a little bit more. All in all, super happy with the brand. I love DUPE FACTORIE brushes. That's one thing that I really think is worth your investment. And yeah, if you aren't already following DUPE FACTORIE on Instagram, make sure that you give them a follow. And I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.